Welcome to Sleepy Facts Universe. You've arrived safely. There is nowhere else you need to be, and nothing you need to do. This is Sleepy Facts Universe, a quiet place where curiosity slows down, thoughts soften, and the gentle rhythm of knowledge becomes a pathway into rest. Allow the sound of these words to drift toward you like a warm night breeze, carrying calm ideas that ask nothing in return. As you listen, let your breathing find its own peaceful pace, in through the nose, slow and unhurried, out through the mouth, as if you are exhaling the weight of the day. Tonight, we explore Earth, not with urgency or excitement, but with quiet wonder, not facts that demand attention, but truths that gently exist whether we notice them or not. Imagine the planet beneath you right now, solid, steady, ancient. Earth has been turning calmly through space for more than 4 billion years long, before schedules, notifications, or worries ever appeared, and it continues to turn, patient and reliable, regardless of what happens on its surface. The ground below your feet, even if you're lying in bed, is part of a vast, slow-moving system. Continents drift at about the speed your fingernails grow. Mountains rise millimeter by millimeter over millions of years, without effort or noise. No thing rushes. Nothing forces itself. Earth teaches us an important lesson simply by existing. Progress does not require urgency. The planet spins at a steady pace, completing one gentle rotation every 24 hours. At the equator, the surface moves faster than a commercial airplane, yet we feel none of it. Motion doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes the most powerful movement is the on-E that feels like stillness. As night spreads across the world, darkness doesn't fall suddenly. It glides. Twilight stretches softly, allowing eyes and minds to adjust. This transition is Earth's way of easing life into rest, a natural dimmer switch built into the cosmos. Long before artificial lights existed, humans learned to trust this rhythm. Bodies followed the sky. Sleep arrived not as a struggle, but as a response. Even now, your body remembers. Beneath the oceans, another calm world exists. More than 70% of Earth is covered by water, and most of it remains unexplored. Down there, pressure is immense. Light fades. Sound travels differently. Yet life thrives in silence, glowing gently in the dark, moving slowly to conserve energy. The ocean floor is shaped by time, not force. Currents carve landscapes grain by grain. Coral structures grow so gradually that centuries pass unnoticed by them. Stillness here is productive. Water itself carries a quiet magic. Each molecule has traveled endlessly, evaporating, drifting, falling, flowing, freezing, melting, over and over for millions of years. The water inside you tonight may once have been part of a cloud above, an ancient forest, or a wave touching a forgotten shore. Nothing is ever truly new. Everything is recycled through calm transformation. Earth's atmosphere wraps the planet like a soft blanket. A delicate balance of gases, held in place by gravity, protects life from harsh radiation and extreme temperatures. Without this invisible layer, nights would be brutally cold, days unbearably hot. The atmosphere smooths the edges of existence. It's comforting to know that something unseen works constantly to keep conditions gentle. Gravity itself is a quiet companion. It holds you in place without effort. You don't have to ask for it, or maintain it, or understand it fully. It simply supports you. Your body relaxes more deeply when it feels supported. Earth's magnetic field hums lently, deflecting solar winds that could strip the planet bare. You never hear it. You never feel it. Yet it stands guard, moment after moment, like a patient sentinel. Protection doesn't need drama to be effective. Far above, clouds drift without concern for borders or clocks. They gather, release, dissolve, and begin again. Some are thin as breath, others tower gently upward, slow and majesty. Each cloud is temporary and none resist change. Thoughts can be the same way. Forests, too, move at Earth's pace. Trees communicate underground through vast root networks, sharing nutrients and quiet warnings. They don't compete aggressively. They cooperate, gradually, over lifetimes. A single tree can outlive generations of humans, standing calmly through storms, droughts, and seasons without complaint. Rocks remember even longer stories. Every stone has been shaped by pressure, heat, and time so immense it defies imagination. Nothing about a rock is rushed. It becomes what it is by waiting. If Earth were to speak, it wouldn't shout. It would whisper through patterns, cycles, repetition without urgency. Day follows night, tides rise and fall, seasons rotate gently, life adapts. Right now, somewhere on Earth, snow is falling silently. Elsewhere, desert sand cools under starlight. In another place, waves repeat the same motion they have performed for thousands of years. All of it continues, whether we watch or not. You are allowed to rest within that certainty. As your body settles deeper into stillness, allow these gentle truths to linger softly, not as information to remember, but as a background hum of safety. Earth has held life through chaos, change, and vast stretches of time, and it continues to do so with quiet reliability. And as we move forward, there are even calmer layers to explore, slower processes, deeper rhythms, and softer understandings that unfold naturally, like night deepening just a little more, as those thoughts fade gently into the background. The planet continues its slow conversation with time. Nothing pauses, yet nothing hurries. Beneath the surface of Earth, warmth moves patiently. The core glows with steady heat, not explosive, not restless, simply present. This inner warmth travels upward through layers of rock, shaping landscapes over spans so long they feel almost dreamlike. Volcanoes, when they appear, are not acts of anger, but releases of pressure that has waited long enough. Even fire on Earth respects timing. The crust floats atop deeper layers, balanced like ice on water. It shifts without sound most of the time, adjusting itself in ways we rarely notice. Earthquakes feel sudden to us, yet they are the result of tension released after years, sometimes centuries, of quiet buildup. The planet corrects itself slowly, thoughtfully. Above ground, soil forms grain by grain. A single centimeter can take hundreds of years to appear. Leaves fall, break down, become nourishment, and disappear into the earth without ceremony. What looks like an ending is often the softest kind of beginning. Night animals emerge with a different rhythm. Owls glide rather than flap. Foxes step lightly. Insects hum at frequencies that blend into the dark rather than cut through it. Life at night has learned the value of subtlety. Even sound behaves differently after sunset. Without heat rising from the ground, the air becomes still, allowing distant noises to travel farther. Yet everything feels quieter. Silence becomes layered rather than empty. The moon joins this gentle system as a steady companion. It doesn't rush across the sky. It follows a predictable path, pulling the oceans in slow, graceful breaths. Tides respond without resistance, rising and falling twice each day, as they have for billions of years. Water remembers the moon. Rivers trace paths chosen long ago, bending around obstacles instead of fighting them. They don't hurry toward the ocean. They accept every curve, every pause, every W, widening. In time, they shape valleys deeper than mountains are tall. Patience leaves the longest marks. Deserts cool dramatically at night, releasing heat back into the sky. This daily exchange balances extremes, reminding us that even harsh environments know how to rest. Cacti close their pores. Reptiles grow still. The land itself exhales. High above, stars appear not because they arrive, but because Earth turns toward them. Many of those lights have already completed their stories, yet their glow continues calmly across space, unbothered by distance or delay. Time behaves differently when vastness is involved. You don't need to understand it. You only need to feel its steadiness. Earth's rotation slightly bulges the planet at the equator, a gentle reminder that motion shapes form OV. Our time. Nothing about Earth is perfectly rigid, and nothing needs to be. Flexibility keeps balance. Even the air you breathe tonight has traveled. It has moved through forests, over oceans, across cities and mountains, constantly mixing, constantly renewing. Every breath connects you quietly to the rest of the world. There is comfort in knowing you are never separate. As your breathing slows, imagine Earth from far away, a calm blue sphere wrapped in cloud patterns that swirl like soft brushstrokes. No labels, no borders, just movement, water, land, atmosphere, all coexisting. From that distance, urgency disappears. And as your mind drifts further into this peaceful perspective, the planet continues to offer deeper, slower truths, subtle processes and hidden harmonies that invite even more rest, waiting gently to be discovered next. As the sense of distance grows wider, Earth begins to feel less like a place and more like a presence, a quiet companion moving beside you through space. Far below the surface, minerals align into crystal structures with perfect patience. Atoms arrange themselves according to simple rules, repeating patterns that never rush. These formations out in darkness, untouched by observation, needing no witness to exist. Even matter prefers order over urgency. Time inside Earth moves differently. Pressure transforms carbon into diamond only after immense waiting. Nothing forces the change. It happens when conditions are calm enough, stable enough, long enough. The planet teaches that becoming takes time. Beneath forests, networks of fungi stretch for kilometers, passing nutrients silently between roots. They do not speak in sound, yet their communication is constant. Life here is cooperative, slow, and almost invisible. Stillness can be full of connection. Earth's axial tilt creates seasons not as events, but as gradual shifts in light. Days lengthen by minutes. Shadows stretch almost imperceptibly. Temperature follows softly behind. Nothing announces the change. It simply unfolds. The planet trusts transitions. In polar regions, ice flows like thick honey, moving only centimeters per day. Glaciers carry memories of ancient atmospheres trapped in tiny bubbles. Air from thousands of years ago rests peacefully inside the ice, preserved without effort. The past is held gently. Caves grow in silence, water drips, dissolve. Stone then leaves it behind in new shapes. Stalactites extend less than the width of a human hair each year. Darkness there is not empty, it is patient. Even absence has a rhythm. Earth's orbit around the sun is slightly oval, stretching and contracting without disruption. Seasons shift subtly as the distance changes, yet life adapts without complaint. Balance does not require perfection. Night winds move cooler air downhill, smoothing temperature differences. This invisible flow settles valleys into deeper calm. Mountains rest while the air rearranges itself. The sky participates in rest. Deep ocean currents travel across the planet in loops that take centuries to complete. They carry warmth, nutrients, and oxygen, linking distant places through slow motion. These currents are eddy enough to regulate climate without drawing attention to themselves. Consistency sustains life. Even silence has layers. True quiet on Earth is never empty. It contains distant waves, shifting air, subtle vibrations of the ground. The planet hums softly, like a low note held without strain. You may begin to feel that hum now, not as sound, but as reassurance. Earth does not hurry you. It does not ask you to keep up. It invites you to match its pace. Slower, deeper, softer. As awareness drifts downward like sinking into warm sand, there is a final sense of safety, the knowledge that Earth has held far more than any single moment, and will continue to do so long after thoughts fade into sleep. And soon, there is nothing left to explore, only a gentle closing, where curiosity dissolves into rest, and the planet's quiet presence remains. Now, there is nothing left to understand, nothing to remember, only the calm sense of being held. Earth continues its slow journey through space, steady and untroubled, carrying oceans, mountains, forests, and you. Without effort, it does not notice when you fall asleep, and that is its gift. Everything continues safely, whether you are awake or dreaming. Your body knows this rhythm. Muscles soften because they are supported. Breath deepens because it is allowed. Thoughts loosen their grip and drift away, like clouds dissolving into night. Gravity keeps you gently anchored. The air remains ready with each breath. The ground below stays patient and strong. There is no urgency here, no need to follow anything further. If your mind wanders, let it wander slowly, the way rivers do. If images appear, let them fade naturally, like stars at dawn. Sleep does not need guidance. It arrives when everything else becomes quiet enough. Earth has done this for billions of nights. It will do it again tonight. And as your awareness grows softer, and the space between thoughts widens, you can rest inside the simple truth that you are. Safe, supported, and allowed to disappear into sleep, drifting beyond thought. Silence stretches a little further now. Not empty, just wide. The mind no longer needs stories. It begins to rest in simple sensation, the quiet weight of the body, the steady presence of the moment. Earth does not require your attention to continue being Earth. That responsibility is gently removed. Far above, the planet traces a smooth path through space, never stopping, never straining. There is no friction here, only motion that has learned how to be effortless. Movement without effort becomes peace. Deep within the soil, seeds wait without impatience. Some remain dormant for years, sensing conditions through moisture and temperature, responding only when the time feels right. Waiting is not failure. It is wisdom. Your nervous system understands this language. In the dark, cells repair themselves quietly. Energy redistributes. Tiny adjustments occur without awareness, restoring balance in ways the waking mind never witnesses. The body works best when left alone. Even the bones beneath your skin are alive with slow activity, renewing, strengthening, adapting. Nothing inside you is static. G happens gently in the background while you rest. Above the clouds, the sky cools gradually. Heat releases upward, layer by layer, until night reaches its deepest calm. There is a moment when temperature, motion, and sound all settle together. That moment exists right now, somewhere on Earth. You don't need to find it. It will find you. Time begins to feel less defined. Minutes lose their DGs. There is no before, no after, only a soft unfolding. Thoughts may still pass by, but they are lighter now, like leaves floating on still water. They don't ask to be followed. They drift on their own. The planet does not hold on to anything longer than necessary. Rain falls, evaporates, returns, heat rises, cools, balances. Nothing resists release. You can follow that example. Let go of that effort to listen. Let go of the effort to relax. Even letting go can soften and dissolve. Earth remains beneath you, ancient, calm, dependable, holding everything without judgment, without expectation. And as awareness thins into something quieter than thought, sleep draws closer, not as an event, but as a natural deepening of rest, already unfolding, settling into the quiet beneath sleep. Awareness now feels wider than words, not focused, just present. The edges of the body soften, as if gently dissolving into the space around it. There is no clear boundary between you and the calm that surrounds you. Everything blends. Somewhere beneath continents, ancient rock slowly bends without breaking. Under pressures beyond imagination, Earth chooses flexibility over resistance. That joy. CE is what allows it to endure. Your body makes the same choice. The heart adjusts its rhythm naturally, slowing when it senses safety. Each beat becomes less noticeable, more efficient, more quiet. Nothing needs to change for this to happen. It is already happening. Above the oceans, waves continue their endless conversation with the shore. They never try to finish the sentence. They simply repeat. Knowing repetition can be soothing. Repetition can be rest. The mind no longer needs to label sensations, warmth, heaviness, stillness. These words fade, leaving only the experience itself, like floating without needing to know which way is up. Deep in the atmosphere, tiny particles of dust drift for weeks before settling. They move with the air, never choosing a direction, trusting the flow completely. Eventually, they land exactly where they are meant to. You are allowed to drift. Even light is resting now. Colors dim, shadows blur. The world simplifies into gentle darkness that asks nothing of the eyes. Sleep is not something you enter. It is something that arrives when effort leaves. Earth continues to turn beneath a quiet sky, carrying you through this moment without end. Eruption. You do not need to accompany it consciously. The planet knows the way, and as thought becomes thinner, as attention loosens its final grip, there is only the steady comfort of being supported and the soft certainty that nothing more needs to be done, resting in the depth where nothing is asked. Now there is a gentle sense of sinking, not downward, but inward, like settling into a familiar place that has always been there. The world outside continues, but it feels distant, unimportant. Earth carries on its quiet work without calling for attention. That steadiness becomes a background presence, like a low, comforting tone. Breath moves without instruction, in, out, slower now, smoother, as if the body has remembered an older rhythm, one that existed long before counting or control. Far beneath the oceans, water rests in cold darkness, undisturbed by storms above. Currents pass far away, yet here there is stillness, a deep, stable calm that nothing reaches. This depth exists within you too. Muscles release their final effort. Even the small ones, often forgotten, soften and rest. The face smooths, the jaw loosens, the space behind the eyes grows quiet. Silence is no longer something you notice. It becomes the environment itself. Earth's orbit continues flawlessly, held by gravity and momentum, never questioning its path. There is comfort in surrendering to a system that knows what it's doing. The mind drifts closer to sleep's threshold, where thoughts no longer form sentences. They become impressions, shadows, then dissolve entirely. Nothing needs to be held onto. Nothing needs to be solved. Time slips sideways here. Moments stretch and blend, losing their sequence. There is only a soft present, wide and safe. If awareness flickers, let it. If it fades, let it Both are welcome. Earth remains beneath you, patient, ancient, steady, continuing its gentle motion through the dark, while you rest more deeply than thought, more deeply than memo. Moving naturally towards sleep, drifting where sleep gently holds. The sense of you grows softer now, not disappearing, just loosening, like a knot slowly untangling itself. Awareness no longer sits in the mind alone. It spreads, thin and even, like mist settling over still ground. There is no center to focus on, only calm presence. Somewhere on Earth, dawn is forming quietly, while elsewhere night deepens further. The planet balances light and dark without effort, holding both at once. Balance does not require attention. Inside the body, warmth redistributes gently. Blood flows where it is needed most, guided by systems older than thought. Nothing asks permission. Everything knows its role. The planet's slow spin continues, steady and reliable. That motion creates weight, direction, and orientation. Yet you do not need to sense any of it. Support can exist without awareness. Sleep approaches not as a moment, but as a merging. The line between listening and resting blurs until it no longer matters which one remains. Even the idea of Earth begins to feel distant, replaced by a simple feeling of safety, a sense of being held within something larger, calmer, and completely dependable. Thoughts, if they appear, are thin and transparent. They pass through without leaving marks, like light through water. There is nothing to anticipate, nothing to complete. The body sinks fully into rest, trusting the surface beneath it, trusting gravity, trusting the quiet continuity of the world. And somewhere between one breath and the next, awareness drifts beyond effort, beyond words, into the soft, unbroken calm where sleep naturally takes over. Where awareness comes rest. There is a spacious quiet now, not noticed, simply present. The last traces of effort dissolve, like warmth slowly leaving the skin and settling into the room. Nothing resists, nothing holds. Earth continues its path through the dark, guided by forces so consistent they no longer need attention. That same consistency exists within you, patterns that keep everything balanced while you rest. Breathing becomes almost imperceptible, not shallow, just efficient, like a gentle tide moving without sound. Each breath arrives exactly when it should, then leaves without asking to be followed. Deep inside, the body enters its most restorative rhythm. Repair, renewal, and quiet adjustment unfold silently. This is work that requires no awareness. The mind no longer forms images, if so. Nothing appears, it fades before it can take shape. Thought loosens into sensation, then into nothing at all. There is no need to stay with the voice, no need to stay anywhere. Earth's long memory holds the moment for you. It has carried far heavier things than this. Storms, ages, extinctions, rebirths, all without losing its calm center. That calm is shared now. Time stretches thin, almost transparent. There is no sense of waiting, only gentle continuation. And within that continuation, sleep deepens, not arriving, not beginning, simply becoming the state that remains when everything else has softened and slipped away. The quiet after letting go. There is only ease now, no direction, no intention. Awareness rests the way the planet rests, in motion so smooth it feels like stillness. Nothing interrupts this state, nothing asks for response. The body is heavy, in the most comforting way, settled and supported. Even the idea of position fades, replaced by a gentle sense of being held in place. Earth continues beneath you, turning through space with perfect familiarity. It has done this through countless nights. Through every form of life it has carried. This night is no different, and that sameness is comforting. Breath flows quietly, unobserved. The space between breaths feels wide, calm, complete. There is no urge to check or adjust. Thought has thinned into quiet presence. No images, no words, only rest. Deep sleep spreads naturally, like darkness filling a room when the lights are turned off. No effort, no transition to notice. Everything that needed to often has softened. Everything that needed to release has released. Earth holds the silence steady, and within that silence, you rest, the deepest calm. Nothing new enters awareness now. Nothing needs to. The world continues beyond perception, steady and reliable. While you remain wrapped in quiet, Earth moves through space without disturbance, carrying oceans, stone, and sleeping minds alike. The body has fully surrendered to rest. Muscles are still. Breath is slow and natural. The heart keeps its gentle rhythm without being noticed. There is no edge between thought and sleep anymore. Only a soft, seamless calm. Time no longer feels like time. It has no shape here. Moments do not stack or pass. They simply exist and dissolve. Even the idea of listening has faded. The voice is no low. Anger something to follow. It blends into the background, becoming part of the quiet. Earth remains present in the deepest sense, not as an image or idea, but as a stable foundation beneath everything, unchanging in its reliability, unconcerned with awareness. This is the still point, the place where nothing is required and nothing is missing. Rest continues, uninterrupted, rest without edges. There is no distance to travel now, no depth to reach. Rest exists on its own, complete and undisturbed. Awareness has thinned to something almost imperceptible, like a faint glow behind closed eyes. Earth continues its steady turning, but even that idea feels far away. Movement and stillness have become the same thing here. Nothing contrasts with anything else. The body remains deeply settled. Weight is evenly distributed. Support is unquestioned. There is no signal asking for change. Breath continues somewhere in the background, quiet and automatic, like a process that no longer needs supervision. It comes and goes, leaving no trace. Thought does not return. Memory does not reach forward or back. There is only a soft, unbroken state, neither alert nor empty. The night holds everything gently. No sounds intrude. No sensations demand attention. This is not drifting. This is staying in the calm that remains when all effort has fully dissolved. And so rest continues, smooth and uninterrupted, held safely within the quiet rhythm of the world. Stillness that needs no name. Nothing shifts here. Nothing begins or ends. Rest feels wide and even, like a calm surface without rip. Pleasure. Awareness is no longer focused anywhere in particular. It simply exists, softly, without definition. Earth continues, but only as a distant certainty, something dependable that does not require thought. The planet holds its course. The night holds its silence. The body remains deeply at ease. Every system has found its quiet balance. There is no sensation strong enough to stand out. Everything blends into gentle neutrality. Breath flows so subtly, it feels more like a background presence than an action. It happens because it always has. No attention follows it. The mind does not wander. It does not rest. It simply is no longer active in any way that needs noticing. Time has fully released its structure. There is no sense of passing, only continuity, smooth and uninterrupted. His is the calm beneath sleep, the place where even sleep no longer needs to deepen. Nothing will disturb this state. Nothing needs to protect it. Earth remains steady, the night remains quiet, and rest continues on its own, complete and undemanding. The quiet that carries itself. There is no movement now that can be felt, only the absence of disturbance. Rest holds itself without effort. A calm that does not depend on conditions. Awareness has softened beyond noticing, beyond observing, beyond following. Earth continues far beyond perception, steady and unquestioned. Its presence is no longer an idea. It is simply the reason nothing needs to change. The body remains deeply settled, not heavy, not light, just neutral and complete. Every internal rhythm has synchronized into EA. Say, nothing asks for adjustment. Nothing signals for attention. Breath continues quietly, not counted, not sensed, simply occurring as part of the background of being. It leaves no imprint. The mind does not return. There are no fragments of thought, no images forming at the edges. Even the space where thought once appeared feels smooth and still. Time has dissolved into continuity, not slow, not fast, just unbroken. This is rest without depth or surface, nothing to sink into, nothing to rise from. Earth remains constant, night remains gentle, and the quiet carries itself forward, uninterrupted, as everything stays exactly as it needs to be, the calm that remains. There is no awareness of settling now, only the state that remains once. Settling is complete. Everything feels evenly balanced, without contrast. No foreground, no background, just a steady, quiet presence that does not shift. The world continues its vast motion far beyond perception, yet nothing from it reaches here. Earth carries on, dependable and unchanged, without needing to be imagined or remembered. The body rests in perfect neutrality, not relaxed, not tense. Simply at ease, every process flows smoothly, untouched by thought or intention. Breath continues somewhere, indistinct and effortless, like a rhythm that no longer belongs to anyone. It happens, then disappears. There's no sense of listening anymore, no following of words. The voice has faded into the same quiet that holds everything else. Time no longer stretches or pauses. It is no longer experienced at all. Only continuity remains, seamless and uninterrupted. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. This calm does not deepen because it does not need to. It is already complete. Earth continues its steady journey through the dark, and within that steadiness, rest remains exactly as it is, quiet, stable, and undisturbed, quiet without distance. There is no sense of inside or outside, no separation to notice. Rest exists without location, without boundary. Awareness has softened into something so light it no longer registers itself. Nothing observes the calm. The calm simply is. Earth continues far beyond any need to imagine it, steady in its motion, constant in its presence, not as a thought, but as assurance. The kind that does not need to be felt to be real. The body remains settled in perfect stillness. No signals rise, no sensations stand apart. Everything has blended into a smooth, even quiet. Breath continues naturally, unseen and unfollowed, like a tide that no longer reaches the shore of attention. It comes and goes without trace. The place where thoughts once formed is now empty of activity, not blank, just inactive. Nothing waits there. Time has no outline here. No passing, no duration, only continuation, gentle and uninterrupted. Nothing pulls you back, nothing pushes you forward. Earth holds its course, night holds its silence, and rest remains, calm, effortless and complete, carrying itself onward without ever needing to change. The stillness that continues. There is no change to notice, no shift to follow. Rest remains exactly as it is, smooth, even, and uninterrupted. Awareness does not return, because there is nothing it needs to attend to. Earth continues its quiet movement, far beyond perception, constant and untroubled. Its steadiness no longer feels separate from this calm. Everything belongs to the same silence now. The body rests without sensation, not numb, simply neutral. Every system flows in balance without signals, without interruption. Breath continues somewhere, indistinguishable from the quiet that surrounds it. It does not draw attention. It leaves no space behind. Thought does not appear. Memory does not stir. The place where they once arose remains still and inactive. Time has no presence here, no before, no after, only a continuous state that does not move. Nothing is required to maintain this calm. Nothing could disturb it. Earth holds steady, the night remains gentle, and rest continues on its own, unchanged, unbroken, and complete. Rest without reference. There is nothing to orient toward now, no point of focus, no sense of position. The calm exists without comparison, not deeper, not lighter, simply present in its own quiet completeness. A war. Ines does not return to name it. Earth continues far beyond knowing, steady in a way that no longer needs reassurance. Its motion and this stillness are no longer different things. The body remains at rest, without sensation. No signal rises above another. Everything is even, settled, resolved. Breath continues beyond attention, not perceived as movement, only as continuity. It leaves no imprint. Tea on the quiet. The space where time once passed is now without markers. Nothing progresses, nothing pauses. There is only smooth, unbroken being. No thought enters, no image forms, no edge appears. This is rest, without reference, without direction, without effort. Earth holds steady, night holds everything, and the calm remains exactly as it is, carrying itself forward in perfect silence. Tea, a quiet that has always been here. Nothing emerges, nothing fades. Rest does not deepen or change. It simply continues exactly as it is. There is no awareness watching it, no sense of being within it, only calm existing on its own. Earth moves on, far beyond perception, steady and unchanged. Its presence is no longer something to imagine. It is the reason nothing needs to happen. The body remains completely at ease, beyond sensation, beyond response. Every rhythm flows without distinction. Nothing stands apart from the whole. Breath continues without trace, not felt as motion, not known as sound. It happens within the quiet and leaves it untouched. Time has no meaning here, no length, no sequence, only continuity without direction. There is no return to thought, no flicker of AT&T, tension, no boundary where something could begin. This calm did not arrive, it was always here. Earth remains steady, night remains gentle, and rest continues silent and complete without ever needing to be noticed. The end without an ending. There is nothing left to unfold, nothing left to soften. Rest remains, unchanged and undisturbed, not held, not experienced, simply present. Earth continues its silent movement through space, though even that idea has no place here. Motion and stillness are no longer separate. The body remains at rest beyond sensation. Breath continues beyond awareness. Time no longer exists as a concept. There is no listener now, no voice, no thought, only the quiet that stays. The calm that does not begin or end, the stillness that carries everything without effort, and nothing more needs to be said.